The biggest little game in the nation is among us. IC football takes on rival SUNY Cortland for the Cortica matchup this weekend.
The 61st annual Cortica Jug game is just 2 days away, and the hype surrounding both Ithaca and Cortland is huge.
Well, I'm your host, Tara Lynch, as we get set for the Cortica Jug at MetLife Stadium.
Obviously, there was a lot of hype around this, and making sure that the guys were staying grounded and, staying in their playbook, making sure that everything they did to their best ability was definitely something that we preached to them prior. And just make sure to have fun, but don't let all the hype get too in your head, because if it got in your head, that's where we'd be losing the game.
When that week came up, it was, all focus, all hands on deck for what we needed to do to win that game.
Never let go of the focus of beating Cortland. We just tried to make sure that everyone didn't think too much or too big of the game.
It's also important to keep in mind these are college students, and this is the biggest day of their life. So no matter what happens on that field, it is going to be all the emotions running high through their veins.
Yes, it's a different environment. Yes, it's a different crowd size. At the same time, it's still the same 100 yards of football.
Listen to the coaching staff. Dan Swanstrom and his players said this is just like any other game. I think if they do that, do their 1/11th, as some players have said throughout the season, I think they'll be just fine.
We never looked ahead. We really didn't, and Coach Swanstrom did a good job of that. We were just ready to play, and we were just all excited as just one team to just get out there and just compete and have fun on Saturdays, really.
And I think the coaching staff did an amazing job keeping the guys level-headed and focused on each game week to week.
Which I think that's the big thing. You want to deal with that, is you want to keep it as normal as possible.
I know he was having fun, and I know he wanted us to have fun at the same time. But during the week leading up to it, it's all business, and that's the way it should be.
November 16th, 2019. The day had finally arrived. Mere hours remain until opening kickoff as 45,000 fans wait patiently. It's a feeling like no other. Countless hours of blood, sweat, and tears went into preparation for this moment.
It was really surreal when we got there for the game, because there's always the talk for a year and a half. This is happening, and we're promoting it. But then when we finally actually arrived in the buses, we knew that it was for real.
While the Bombers were coming off 2 straight losses, the Red Dragons had their sights set on a playoff berth. Regardless of their respective records, the two teams maintained a shared sense of pride for their schools, each wanting to prove that they had earned the right to etch their names into the jug.
You don't remember many other games unless you make the NCAA tournament in the season. You remember the Cortica Jug. That's the game you remember. Again, biggest arena ever. 2 really good teams, 2 really good records. Cortland had a chance still to make it into the tournament. They only had 1 loss, and it was to a good Brockport team. So Ithaca couldn't make it into the NCAAs, but they said, hey, let's play spoilers, right? RPI did it to us last week. Why don't we do it to our rival this week?
As the players suited up, generations of former athletes and students alike tuned in from across the country. The scene was set for a showdown for the ages.
Now that's a game at the beginning of the year. You circle it and you're like, that's the one. If there's a game to win, that's the one to do it.
As was said for multiple times at the press conference, for these two teams, this is their Super Bowl.
There's no really experience that compares to it. It's, you go up through like youth football to high school football, and you're just used to playing on, grass fields with, a few bleachers, and you walk out in a massive NFL stadium and you're like, whoa, this is different.
And this one is off. We are underway at the 61st annual Cortica Jug.
Although the Bombers' offensive production had taken a dip the past couple of weeks, the coaching staff still had extreme confidence in their All-American quarterback to set the tone early on.
Germanario's got the snap, dropping back. He's going to climb the pocket and take off. Germanario out past the 45-yard line to the 50, running through arm tackles into Cortland territory. 3rd and 6 from the Cortland 42-yard line. Snap to Joe, dropping back. Dancing around in the pocket. Hits Will Glaney over the middle of the field, first down Bombers.
Well, that's just what Joe Germinario does best. He can keep the plays alive with his feet and then finds the receiver over the middle.
A lengthy drive to begin the game saw Ithaca breach the red zone for the first time. The question now became, would they be able to convert?
Germinario lines up right under center. Going off the left side, he's going to push the pile. Is he in? Touchdown Bombers! Ithaca strikes first in the 61st Cortica Jug. A short rushing touchdown for Joe Germinario, 6-0 Ithaca.
Well, it's exactly what you want to be doing if you're the Bombers. You want to get on the board first. You want to get this crowd backing you.
With the Bombers on the front foot, Cortland needed to respond in order to show they could keep up with this explosive unit. They would have to go through Ithaca's defense first.
Backs in the backfield for the Red Dragons. The snap to Scala, play fake, he's going to roll out to the left. Looking for a target, going over the middle of the field, incomplete pass.
Segala really had nowhere to go. Again, if you're both of these quarterbacks, you do not want to be making mistakes today.
Snap to Segala, handoff to Zach Tripodi. Tripodi dancing around, scampering to the right side, hurdling over one defender before being brought down.
You can really tell the difference on how this defense is playing. If they can make the tackles behind the line of scrimmage, obviously you push the offense behind the chains. That is going to be huge against Tripodi.
Play as Ithaca leads 7-0. It's a bad snap. Scala falls over.
You know, I got split second to get my step, and usually when you're getting swam by the tackle, you got to get back and find that running back. But, you know, Coach Turper always drilled in us, if you see the ball, get the ball. And that ball fumbled around for a split second, and I just went for it.
Antonio Valley says he's got it. Bombers ball. Brett Segala fumbled the snap. Ed Longest and John Haddock both dive right on it, and Ithaca's got the ball in Cortland territory.
Where we were speaking, to former captain and linebacker Kenny Bradley, he said that your first couple of plays on offense are a little tricky because there's so much emotion going into a Cortica Jug. For the Bombers on offense, not a lot of struggles, and then for Cortland, just a miscommunication, a bad snap, and the Bombers are able to jump on top of it.
While Ithaca's secondary continued its shutdown effort, the Red Dragons started to rely on their senior running back, Zach Tripodi, who took the reins with confidence.
3 receivers to the right side. A minute and a half gone in this second quarter. 7-0, the Bombers lead. The snap, the give to Zach Tripodi, left side. Tripodi chopping his feet, puts his head down. 2nd and 2 for Cortland. Under 12 minutes to play. This is a handoff to Zach Tripodi, left side. Tripodi cuts back to the middle of the field. Myles Haynes finally brings him down, but not before he picks up the Cortland first down.
Well, the running lanes haven't been there for Tripodi, but the vision has been terrific, A couple times he's gone on the outside and has had the vision to cut it back inside.
The snap to Segala. Delayed handoff to Tripodi. Tripodi picking up speed, out past the 10-yard line. That's where he's stopped by Ithaca. 8-yard rush for Tripodi. Tripodi, the tailback. Tommy Hewer in the game, gives it to Zach Tripodi. Tripodi's into the end zone. Touchdown, Red Dragons. Zach Tripodi bursts into the end zone for Cortland's first score of the game. It's 7-6 Bombers.
If you're this good at running the ball and Ithaca has been unable to adjust on the third drive, why not? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Cortland's opening score seemed to jumpstart the Ithaca offense, who had stalled since the initial touchdown.
No one in the backfield, Germinario. 2nd down snap, he's got it, dropping back. Clean pocket to work with, over the middle to Andrew Vito. Vito stiff arms away from one tackle before he picks up the first down. Evans Rivera making the stop eventually. First down Bombers.
This is a huge 3rd and 1. Germinario had to go all the way back to the Ithaca sideline for the call.
Listen to this crowd. Germinario under center. Gets pushed back initially, reaches for the pylon. Touchdown Bombers. 2nd rushing touchdown of the day for Joe Germinario. And Ithaca goes up 13-6 from MetLife Stadium.
Another missed kick kept Cortland in reach, and with 1:49 to go before the half, the Red Dragons looked to march 68 yards down the field. Kyrie Brown had other ideas.
Scala hurrying Cortland to the line, gets the snap, dropping back, rifles it to Cole Burgess. Burgess skying for the catch and pulls it in. Cole Burgess getting up right over Cole Burgess, and then Kyrie Brown rips it away from Burgess. Kyrie Brown going back down the sideline for Ithaca. Kyrie Brown stripped the ball straight out of Cole Burgess' arms. No signal yet. Ithaca's celebrating like they have it. The individual effort from Kyrie Brown, my goodness.
Ithaca had been driving, they had been dominating the first half, and then near the end of the first half, Cortland looks like it's finally getting its feet under themselves, and they're getting their offense rolling, and they have a strike down the right sideline, and all of a sudden the ball's in Kyrie Brown's hands.
The quarterback, he hadn't really thrown the ball too much, that half, or too well that half, and I wasn't anticipating a pass, and I actually kind of messed up the coverage, and I realized I messed up the coverage and I bailed on it. Luckily, I had Cade over top of me, and I just seen that the guy wasn't down yet, and I managed to take the ball out of his hands.
Limited time at the Bombers had to move the ball quickly. Aided by a personal foul, head coach Dan Swanstrom took a timeout with 21 seconds remaining.
I'm interested to see if the field goal unit comes on. I think that would be silly. I think you run a couple of plays. You can run at least 1 or 2 here if you're the Bombers. Maybe try to go up 2 scores.
2nd and 8. Snap to Germanario, drops back. Dancing around, nowhere to go with the ball. Now sprints out to his left. Dancing now, 13 seconds on the game clock. Out to the right side now, reverses field. Germanario out to the 5-yard line. Pushing forward, touchdown Bombers. 3rd rushing touchdown of the afternoon for Joe Germanario in his first ever Cortica Jug.
I swear to you, we finished making the call, and Ben Carlton and I just look at each other like, did he just do that? Like, I know he didn't just do that.
I always scramble to try and throw. I don't really try and scramble to run. And if you have to run, you do. I go, I think I'm going to run this thing.
There are a lot of plays that you can teach in football. That kind of awareness and that kind of composure to not panic near the end of the half, just things are going crazy around you. That kind of, you can't teach that.
The Bombers carried a commanding 19-6 lead into the break, but recognized that the Red Dragons were not finished just yet. Eager to receive the second half kickoff, Cortland was fit to go back to work.
19-6 your score as we start the 3rd quarter.
With senior captain Nick Garone calling the defensive keys, Ithaca quickly forced a 3-and-out. Germanario and the offense hit the field keen on extending the gap.
Snap to Germanario, drops back. Got Mikey Anderson on the cross route into the middle of the field. Anderson out to the 45-yard line. Falls forward, they give him the first down.
Shortly thereafter, the Bombers faced 4th down. With the kicking game struggling, Coach Swanstrom decided to take a risk.
The offense staying out there for 4th and short. Romero takes the snap, dropping back to pass. Floats it, far side, Will Gladney over his shoulder. Touchdown Bombers! It's Will Gladney on the corner route in the far end zone. 15th touchdown of the season for Will Gladney. 25-6, Ithaca leads.
Cortland dialed up a game-changing play of their own to claw back into the competition.
Snap to Scala, play action. Looking deep over the middle of the field. Hauled it over the shoulder like Jason Carlock. Carlock to the 30-yard line, trying to outrace Kyrie Brown. Carlock to the 10-yard line. That's where he's dragged out of bounds. What a play from Cortland. Completely flipping the field on the deep post to Jason Carlock. Scala out of the shotgun. Hands it to Zach Tripodi. Tripodi off the right side, dives. Touchdown, Red Dragons. Zach Tripodi's 2nd rushing score of the afternoon, coming at a crucial time at the end of the 3rd quarter for Cortland.
That is exactly what this Cortland team needed. They were struggling. They could not move the ball down the field. And in one play, a perfect throw, and then a good job by Tripodi getting into the end zone. Well, if you thought this game was over at 26-6, you are sorely mistaken. This is a rivalry game, ladies and gentlemen. These teams are not going to go down without a fight.
Separated by a slim margin, Cortland now had all the momentum. The pressure was mounting.
Automatic first downs. Cortland has not had to do anything on offense this drive. And why complain if you're the Red Dragons? If Ithaca's just going to give you free yards.
Scala dropping back, going left side for Cole Burgess again. Burgess makes the catch inside the 5-yard line. Down he goes. Massive Ithaca fans in his end zone. Second and goal. High snap. Scala gives it to Tripodi. Tripodi racing for the left side. Gets to the pylon. Touchdown, Red Dragons. Zach Tripodi wins the foot race over Miles Haynes. It's a one-score game in the 61st Cortica Jug.
Nick Garone almost had a pick when they actually started coming back, and he could have just closed the game out right there, and he dropped that one, and he looked at us, and after he dropped it, he looked at us and told us to calm down. Our defense started getting comfortable again. You know, the offense started doing what they were doing, and everything just fell in place.
With the clock on their side, the Bombers knew they needed one final push to put the game away.
I don't think there was a moment of doubt. There was just too much on the line for us.
8 on the play clock. Snap to Germanario. Quarterback draw. Germanario cuts back to the left side. Met by a number of Cortland defenders. Dante Garcia, the tailback. Andrew Vito moves in motion. Cortland in man coverage. Snap to Germanario. He's going to keep it himself. Sprinting off the left side. He's got room. Germanario to the 35-yard line. That's where he gets taken down. First down, Bombers. Germanario clapping his hands for the snap. Gets it off. Another quarterback run for the Bombers. Germanario right into the teeth of the defense, taking big shots all game long.
The Bombers faced a crucial 3rd and 6 when Dan Swanstrom chose to dive into his bag of tricks.
We went into the huddle, and it was a 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, whatever. We needed a first down to put it on ice. And if you listen to some of Coach Swanstrom's interviews, it's pretty funny because he goes, "Do you want to run the play?" And I'm not going to say the play. And it was like a 2-second silent, and Vito goes, "We're running it."
And they didn't seem to have a ton of confidence when it was my thought to run this play.
It was funny, and I was just like, "Yeah, we're running it, right?"
3rd and 6 from the 46-yard line. Snap to Germanario. It's a reverse, fake reverse. Germanario looking deep over the middle of the field to a wide open Andrew Vito at the 5-yard line. Vito dives. Touchdown, Bombers! Coach Swanstrom dialed up all the window dressing, the trickeration, and hits Andrew Vito wide open for a huge Bombers touchdown.
That was such a gutsy call. You could have just ran the clock out. Instead, you go right for the jugular, and I mean, they nailed it.
Down by 2 scores, the Red Dragons found themselves in desperation mode.
A must convert for Scala. He takes the shotgun snap, looking to pass. Flushed out of the pocket. Scala's going to try to get it with his feet. He'll pick up the first down. Slides down at about the 47-yard line. Anthony Robinson was there to make sure he went to the ground. First down, Red Dragons. Clock running at 2:15. Snap to Scala. Dropping back. Short pass to Zach Tripodi. Tripodi out past the 50-yard line. Dragged down, out of bounds. Nick Garone was in coverage there, also made the tackle. Scala's got the snap. Rajay Chandler dives at his leg. Scala rolling to the right-hand side. Ball broken up by Rob Daly. Daly diving to make a play on that ball. Bomber and Red Dragon fans alike jumping around here at MetLife Stadium. 3 receivers to the right. Scala's got the snap. Looking to pass. Now rolls to his right. He's got lots of room to rush. Rajay Chandler in pursuit. Scala will get out of bounds past the first down. 4th quarter here from MetLife Stadium. Empty backfield for Scala. Hits Jason Carlock in the flat. Carlock bowling through defenders. It's Kyrie Brown and Miles Haynes making the stop. Quick snap to Scala. Right side to Cole Burgess. Pass broken up and intercepted by Anthony Robinson. It's Bombers ball.
Anthony Robinson leading the Liberty League in pass breakups all season long. No interceptions. How about the perfect time to make his first one of his career?
Germanario takes the final kneel down.
Germanario takes a knee.
Jumping into the arms of Will Gladney. Cortland's players are starting to file onto the field, and there comes Coach Dan Swanstrom. Here come the rest of the Bombers. The Jugs are staying on the South Hill. Ithaca College wins the 61st annual Cortica Jug 32-20.
it's almost difficult to explain, but I wanted my feelings and how I felt about the game of football, and especially the Cortica game. I wanted to make sure that they felt the same and we were all on the same page and our chemistry was, the same.
Both the actual celebration and just like the euphoria of having won a game in an NFL stadium while breaking the D3 attendance record over your rival. I mean, that's the perfect way to go out.
This meant more for the Ithaca College community than I think a lot of people really understand. It was a big event to show we are Ithaca College. This is who we are. We can be more than just a small school in upstate New York.
When you play football for your whole life, you don't get an experience like that. So, preparing for a week for your bitter rival that you really want to, in a game that you really want to win, and then playing that game in or for me, being at a game that was in such a huge setting, it's just crazy. And then probably, 10, 20 years from now, when I'm thinking about my, playing days, that's certainly a game that I'll remember for a team that I was a part of.
I don't think you can describe how special the 2019 campaign was for everyone involved, from the players to the athletic trainers to the broadcasters to the SID to the coaches to everyone. I mean, we'll start with the Ithaca fans, right? Like, it's not a football school. We can't lie to ourselves. This is not Ohio State University, but the excitement on that Saturday and that whole week leading up, and just the couple of weeks leading up to that, they were saying, wow, we're about to play in an NFL stadium. And it really gave you a sense of purpose.
It's more than just the game, it's a lifestyle. We went to Ithaca for a reason.
I just remember I was really thankful for all that. Unbelievable group of guys that just welcomed me with open arms, excuse me. And I'll take that away most.
I'll probably say this was the best team that I've been on since I've been up here at IC, been a Bomber. So there's a big mix of guys hanging out with each other and calling each other brothers and actually meaning it. A lot of emotion was dealt with this season, and that being on the field or off the field, and I think we did handle it pretty well. And I just think this is a really good team that lost focus for that 1 week, and that was that. Can't go back and change anything.
I was just really, really impressed with how tough and resilient we were after the back-to-back losses to come back and play so well. That'll always stick with me, and that's always something I'm very, very proud of.
I think the way the program's run, the way Coach Swanstrom constructs it day in, day out, there's no doubt in my mind with the group of guys that are there that they'll win lots of Liberty League titles under Coach Swanstrom.
Every day it was just so fun to get out there and practice, even on those cold days pre-Cortica, snowing out, raining out, muddy, doesn't matter. We were just so happy to be with each other, and that's something that will stick with me for the rest of my life.